Tonight, our borders are being overrun. Now more than ever, the borders of the Southwest are open and unprotected. What started the exodus? Who is responsible for the preteen and adolescent children flooding north? Is it the United States? Or how about the parents that sent them there in the first place? Candidate for Senator for the United States for the state of Texas, R Paddock, will join me later to discuss this issue and the possible solutions, plus your calls live. I'm Mike Allen. This is the Armed Radio Global Network, and you are on the air.
There is nothing in this world that can make or break your day like a comfortable pair of shoes. And if you're a woman like me, then the perfect shoes are as seductive as the perfect full-bodied wine coupled with a smooth, dark Belgian chocolate. Or a steaming hot bubble bath at the end of a long day. Let's be real, ladies. The perfect pair of shoes can even be better than spine-tingling, bone-melting, body-shivering. Well, you know what I mean. So, where do you get your perfect pair of shoes? Savvy Souls, where chic meets comfort at the intersection of satisfaction, swank, and trendy. Go to www.forsavvysouls.com for 50 to 70% off on the latest spring styles, or find them on Facebook today.
Hi! Now I know you hear Joe Rocks and the Dog on their weekly restaurant reviews on Night Talk, 10 p.m. Eastern. And boy, these two like to eat. Right, boys? Well, here's something to review right from your house. Eat24. That's right, Eat24.com. With over 25,000 restaurants for you to choose from when you're hungry. Many in your area. So review that, boys. Eat24.com. Click, order, and eat. Eat24.com.
Arriva da Firenze, Italia, Nesti Dante, il sapone realizzato a mano, ispirato al bel paesaggio fiorentino e agli incantevoli profumi delle colline toscane, splendidamente confezionato a mano in un'elegante carta fiorentina di ispirazione rinascimentale. Prodotto rispettando l'antica arte italiana della saponeria, grazie al metodo Coltron. Nesti Dante rimane una delle poche compagnie nel mondo che continua a tramandare il metodo tradizionale di saponificazione. Tecnica, creatività e ricerca si incontrano con la nobile antica arte italiana della saponeria. Sapone artigianale, di fama internazionale, sapone di lusso. Per maggiori informazioni visita il sito www.nestidante.com.
Savino Wine Preservation System is wine preservation glassware. Savino is an easy-to-use wine preservation system that allows you to enjoy your favorite wines anytime without waiting for an occasion. Open any bottle with confidence, knowing that you can enjoy the full original flavor of Tuesday's wine on Saturday. For more information, visit us at www.savinowine.com. Today's wine, tomorrow.
Visit the website tattoocreambrightener.blogspot.com. That's tattoocreambrightener.blogspot.com, or click the link in the show page. tattoocreambrightener.blogspot.com has what you need for your dull or faded tattoos. The secret for keeping your tattoo color vibrant and crisp is good skincare. If you exfoliate, nourish, and moisturize your skin, all your skin will look better. Exfoliating can brighten tattoos without using aftercare products. You can find all that you need to help your tattoo look its best at tattoocreambrightener.blogspot.com. If you paid for the pain of getting a cool tattoo, take care of it. And tattoocreambrightener.blogspot.com can help. Again, that website is tattoocreambrightener.blogspot.com. Go visit today.
Open your windows, turn up the radio. It's the Lino Show. I'm a city girl from Boston, living the life in the burbs. Join me on Monday night on Live 365 at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Armed Radio Global. Join us for a mixed bag of entertainment, comedy, fashion, and fun. It's off the chain.
All right, welcome everybody. You are on the air. I'm Mike Allen, and this is the Armed Radio Global Network. Tonight's show brought to you in part by Pampered Paw Gifts. Now, I know your pet can be part of your family. I know my dogs are. They're part of my family. Now, I got one that sleeps with me at night. She's about 1/4 my size, takes up 90% of the bed. If you'd like to pamper your pet, go to pamperedpawgifts.com. And they've got treats and candies and bows and all sorts of fun stuff to buy for your pet. And they're one of our sponsors tonight. Also, strikehardgear.com for all your ammunition, pouch, storage, magazines, everything you need for the sporting and hunting shooter or tactical shooter. Go to strikehardgear.com. Another one of our sponsors tonight. Tonight's calls. Write this number down. You'll want it. You'll want to call in. 1-800-225-5041. That's 1-800-CALL-041. Get live on the show. Give me your take. Give me your opinion about what's going on. Later on in the show, Rebecca Paddock. She is the candidate for the United States Senate for the grand state of Texas, running against John Cornyn, the incumbent, and somebody else on the Democrat side who... Now, we don't talk about that much. I forgot who it was, actually. She'll probably remind me when she comes on. But to start, we've got something's going on big time in the news right now. It's just another thing that the propaganda machine is using to polarize the citizens of this country, to be quite honest with you. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there right now. All this is another reason for the propaganda machines to polarize us as citizens of this country. And that's right now, if you've been living under a rock and haven't been around any newspaper or any TV, then you would not know that thousands of children from Central America are coming across the border into New Mexico, California, Arizona, and Texas, the 4 border states that border with Mexico. Of course, Sean Hannity and our Texas governor, Pointy Boots, we're down around the border, rolling around in a boat with machine guns, and everybody. Now, the left is painting this, of course, you know, we're all bad guys. The left hates. If you're a liberal and you're on the left, I am convinced that you hate the United States. You just do. There's no other way I can really put a finger on it. You have the majority of representatives. You have a majority. 186. That's what I said. Matt Hazley, one of our. What did I say? 1-800. 1-866-225-5401. I think I said 1-800. Okay. Thank you, Matt. Keep me on track here. Matt Hazley of Straight Talk with Matt Hazley, Mondays and Fridays, 9 p.m. Central, right here in Armed Radio. But anyway, back to what I was saying. If you're left and you're liberal, I just don't see how you, as a United States citizen, I believe that a liberal, if there was one Republican, only one, in any part of the government, everything would be that one Republican's fault. The Democrats are absolutely the masters at blaming everybody else, crying about everything that can't get done, yet they hold the majority and the presidency. I mean, you got the health care law passed. Thanks, by the way. I have no more health insurance. I'm back on the market trying to find something I can afford. You got that passed, but when it comes to everything else, all you want to do is complain about it. Complain about how the Republicans aren't lockstepping with you for some reason. Now, the Republicans have their problems too, but with this, it's amazing the extremes on both sides designed to divide us as citizens. This coming from Military Veterans Against the Tea Party. Go like their page. I don't agree with them. They haven't blocked me yet. I guess because I'm a vet. But anyway, they just posted something that said, during World War II, thousands of children from war-torn Europe were evacuated to America and fostered by families. It was kindness. It was considered patriotic. It was a Christian and humane thing to do. How times change. Now the terrorized children of countries in the South of us are now being called scum and told to go home by Americans who think they are patriots and Christians. Home where many were raped, facing a slave-like existence and constant violence of gang and cartel wars. I'm beyond disillusioned and disturbed with the complete lack of empathy and caring for our fellow human beings. Children at the of human beings and children at that. Shame on you, America. That comes from a leftist. Here's what I don't understand. You know, Central America didn't turn bad like in the last month. You know, all that crap's been going on down there pretty much for decades. Back from the 70s, Che Guevara, Pinochet, all those guys. Okay, it just didn't happen like within the last month. But in the last month, thousands of children have been streaming across our border. Now, of course, you know, an already undermanned and underpowered border patrol is now expected to automatically know what to do with all these kids. I mean, the left is complaining about these kids living in warehouses and what's going on with you know, how they're not being treated well and all this. The Border Patrol is not a daycare center. They don't have, you know, why don't you, instead of getting on Facebook behind a computer and complaining about it, why don't you go ahead and get in a van and drive on down there with a couple gallons of water? Why don't you go take some of these children into your home? Now, I don't know what drove all these kids across the border, but I have my theory on what happened. Not only was this driven by the drug cartels, I also believe it was the drug cartels are working in conjunction with some terrorist organizations who have been trying to get into America. Trying to get something big, something where there needed to be a distraction. I mean, the Border Patrol is already spread thin. All they would need to do is be distracted by, a bunch of kids coming across that now they have to be taken care of because they can't take care of themselves, to get something like, say, a dirty bomb across the border. And I said this on Monday Morning Brew. If you were listening to the show, then you'd know that my prediction is within the next 5 to 6 months, there is going to be an event equal to or greater than 9/11. And it was because of all these kids and all the divisiveness that our propaganda machines are pumping into our citizenry that we are so polarized that we can't see the woods for the trees. You know, people ask, how could 9/11 happen? Well, it could happen for a couple of reasons. One, we're so politically correct, which is our biggest downfall, by the way, is we try to keep everybody happy and don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. We're so politically correct that even with the massive amounts of information that the government had, no one could believe the audacity of someone taking an airplane and flying it into the World Trade Center. It was an unbelievable scenario. The people weren't stopped at the gates because to do so would be racist and profiling. Now we have all these children coming across the border, and somehow, even with the majority in the presidency, it's the Republicans' fault. Somehow, it's the fault of these farmers and people that live on the border who are now overwhelmed with these children and have no place to take them or do anything with them. The government drops, $60 million on a resort in Texas to house these children in this resort, and then hired 650 people. And that's only 650 of the thousands of kids that are coming across. Pretty much one person per child. Now, you want to know where follow the money. Just follow the money. Think about this. If you're listening to me right now, and you have children, and you've been living in your country for decades, you're not young. You're 20, 30 years old, and you have kids. High school age kids, middle school age kids. What on earth would possess you to give them away to strangers, to ship up to the border of Mexico, to get out and walk across the desert with little or no water and little or no food? Your country's been crap for decades. What in the last month has changed? Well, President Obama, through executive order, has decided that he's going to lean towards amnesty. So everybody's rushing to get their anchor babies over here to get amnesty to become instant civilians, instant citizens of the United States. And once they become citizens of the United States, they can bring their families over. And once the families get over here, of course, then they'll be eligible for all the welfare that we have. So where does the burden fall? Because welfare is not free. Medicaid, Medicare, that's not free. There's no such thing as free Medicare. I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but I tell you right now, everybody's saying that the United States has trouble with their health care and that, other developed countries like Britain and Germany and everything have free health care. It's not free. They're getting taxed almost 80% of what they make is being taxed. Who do you think's paying for all these kids? Nobody expected all these kids to come across the border. There's nobody prepared to help. Nobody. And the Democrats would rather stand back and yell at the Republicans, and the Republicans, of course, aren't doing anything either. But everybody's standing around blaming each other and pontificating on the TV. Take those kids in. Come on, leftists, now it's time to put your money where your mouth is. I don't see anybody caravanning down there with a bunch of tents and stuff to help these kids. You'd rather sit behind a keyboard and a computer. I personally think those kids should be turned around and taken back to their parents. I think an investigation should start to find out what motivated these parents to put their children in this situation. Now, it could have been a threat from the cartels who are being paid by Al-Qaeda, which is kind of where I'm leaning, to tell you the God's honest truth. I'm telling you, something's going to happen in the next 5 to 6 months. I'm thinking dirty bomb. I'm thinking a dirty bomb detonated in a small town in the Midwest. They're not going to go after the big cities anymore. They're going to make everybody feel uncomfortable. And then with the current propaganda of disarming America and disarming its citizenry, I'm telling you, you think it can't happen. Then that's why no one stopped 9/11. No one believed that something like that could happen, and it did. And here we are. Here we are, 14 years later, and we're still stupid. They're bringing stuff across that border like you would not believe. And those children are the smokescreen. The children are the thing. Are the decoy. They're the ones keeping us off balance. Being used by the cartels and the terrorist organizations. When we come back, we are going to have Rebecca Paddock live, and she is going to join us on the Ring Central Celebrity Hotline. You can reach me at 1-866-225-5041 or 1-866-CALL-041, and you can be live on this show talking to us. All you have to do is pick up the phone and dial, and write it down, make sure you memorize it, and you can come on and comment about what we're talking about. When we get back out of the break, we will be talking to Rebecca Paddock, who is the senatorial candidate for the state of Texas and the Libertarian candidate for the United States Senate from the state of Texas, to talk more about this and anything else that comes up. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by PamperedPawGifts.com. Go ahead and visit them, and StrikeHardGear.com. I'm telling you, some of you guys are going to have to check that website out. There's a lot of good gear there. We'll be right back after these messages. I'm starting to trip over my tongue. As texts and messages are coming in, you can also tweet me at tired_lions_fan. Hashtag it armed radio. So I'll make sure I see it on my Twit deck. Or hit me up on Facebook. We'll be right back after these messages. I'm Mike Allen. This is the Armed Radio Global Network, and you are on the air.
Straight Talk with Matt Hazley. Every Monday and Friday, 9 p.m. Central Time. Only on Armed Radio Global.
We love your dogs and kitties. We love them, yes we do. So when you want to give a gift, a cake or treat or two, PamperedPawGifts.com is the place for you. Yes, PamperedPawGifts.com is the place for you.
Ooh, nice shooting. Hey, that's a sweet AK-47 chest rig. Is that multicam?
Yep, got it from StrikeHardGear.com.
Strike what?
StrikeHardGear.com.
Set your sights on StrikeHardGear.com. Tough, tactical gear for your Soviet-style weapon that's made in the USA. Affordable, plus a no-questions-asked 30-day money-back guarantee and lifetime replacement warranty. StrikeHardGear.com. Go ahead. Pull the trigger.
Glastic water bottle, a shatterproof glass water bottle. It's great for any liquid because everything tastes best in glass. A leak-proof lid you can close and toss on the couch without worry. Chances are it won't ever break, but if it does, no worries. The glass is safely contained inside a protective outer shell, so you won't have a dangerous mess to clean up. You can safely remove the broken glass and get replacements. Go to GlasticWaterBottle.com to get your very own Glastic bottle today. That's GlasticWaterBottle.com. GLASSTIC waterbottle.com. What are you waiting for? Are you looking to buy prescription eyeglasses? Family-owned and operated iFramePros.com is your online store for prescription eyeglasses. Select the eyewear of your choice from our variety of frames, fill out the prescription information, and place your order in no time. After this quick and easy process, you'll receive your prescription glasses in a few days. All major credit cards accepted. Visit us at iFramePros.com. That's EYEFramePros.com. See what you are missing.
Are you an entrepreneur looking to get your business off the ground? Or are you an established business in need of a plan to present to an investor? Keljo Solutions can provide you with the plan that presents you and your business to others in an organized, professional package. With affordable rates, we have the plan to fit your budget. Visit us on the web at www.keljo.net and watch your business grow.
Hi, this is John, Jay, and Mikey. Join us on the High Five at 10, Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. Mikey, Jay, what are we going to talk about?
Love, fun facts, jokes.
We're going to talk about all this stuff. We're going to talk all over each other. So join us then, 10 p.m. Eastern, only on Tuesday nights, only on the Armed Radio Global. See you then.
All right, welcome back to the show. Joining me now, live on the Ring Central Celebrity Hotline, the candidate for the United States Senate from the great state, great republic of Texas. She's been on the show before. Please welcome Mrs. Rebecca Paddock. How you doing, ma'am? Hello. How are you doing?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How's the campaign going?
It's going. I'm making some progress. I'm seeing some polls bringing me up to like 9% of the vote, which is really good for somebody that's running on a Libertarian ticket. It's a good place to start.
Well, John Cornyn is way out ahead right now.
Yep, he is.
So you just keep chipping away at him.
Well, I knew it was going to be an uphill battle, but it's the right thing to do, so I'm doing it.
Well, we've got a lot of candidates from the Central Texas area actually running for one of his friend of mine, Jamie Blazia, who will be running for Attorney General. Of course, we used to be on opposite sides when I arrested DWIs, and he was a defense attorney for DWIs, so I got to know him quite well. And trying to get him on the show, too. But, hey, big things happening now in our state. Now, let me give you a scenario. What's your take on this? I mean, I think it's a big smokescreen. I think something big's coming across our border. Is that kind of where you're thinking, or is it a political move, or what?
Well, I think part of it is probably a political move. My concern is, I've got several concerns, right? One concern is that there are potential terrorists coming across the border. Another concern is, similar to when I was a kid, and we took a lot of people from Cuba. What did they do? They emptied their jails and sent the people here, right? So do we have criminals from these countries coming in? That's a concern. There actually are small kids involved. So now these kids are hanging around with terrorists and criminals. What's happening to them, right? That should be a concern that everybody has. Where did these kids come from? Were they stolen?
Well, see,
did their parents really give them up? I mean, think about this. People that have kids, even people that don't have kids, if you've got nieces and nephews, what are the chances that you're going to just give your child to somebody and say, take them away to another country? It doesn't make sense.
Well, see, that's the point I was getting at. Is this just doesn't? I think this is part of a bigger deal. I think this is, well, of course, anytime kids are involved, the left is going to jump on it, and instead of doing anything productive, all they do is trash the right. I think they use kids because kids, everybody, can't talk bad about kids. And if you do anything against a child, well, you're automatically the enemy. So it's easy to be vilified. And I think it's a smokescreen for either massive amounts of drugs or a terrorist organization bringing something big across, and they needed this type of polarizing event to not only polarize us as citizens, but take up a lot of the Border Patrol's time dealing with it so they can get across with something big.
It's possible. I don't know that it's that. I don't know that it's organized in that direction.
That's just
I don't have any. I don't have any data to back that theory up.
Well, that's just a gut feeling. Just as a military mind. I think military mind. I've got. Because it just doesn't, like you were just alluding to, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, if I'm a father of two wonderful children, when they were in middle school, I would not think to put them into the hands of a stranger to be shipped hundreds of miles away from us, out of touch, don't know what's going on with them, have no sort of communication with them, so that they could walk hundreds of miles across the desert with little or no food or water into the United States. I can't understand the thought process. I mean, a parent would have to be under duress, I would think, for that to happen. And then, it's not like Central America just fell to pieces in the last month. I mean, Central America and South America and Mexico, they've been train wrecks for decades. I mean, just look at all the stuff that was suppressed during the soccer, the World Cup, with the things that were going on in Brazil. Displacing whole neighborhoods of basically transients, cleaning up the place so they could host the World Cup. I mean, Central America is under the rule of some despots and the cartels. So it's not like this just didn't happen overnight. So all of a sudden, all these kids, there's something going on. I think there's something deeper going on.
Well, the other thing is apparently the coyotes, the termed coyotes that are bringing these kids here, are charging, I have heard, $7,000 a kid. Now, where did these parents get $7,000 a kid if they are truly living in the situation
in
that
poverty?
Yeah,
exactly. Where's the money going? That's why I'm saying follow the money. Follow the money.
So I believe, in my opinion, that what we need to do is we need to shut the border down. Our southern border needs to look like the Mexican southern border. Have you seen pictures of it?
Yeah, with the double fences and the barbed wire. Yeah, of course.
It's a solid fence, and it's patrolled. And it needs to look, that's what our fence needs to look like. And anybody that's here illegally needs to go through the process, including being fingerprinted, the whole bit, so that we know who they are, so that if they come back, the consequences are much worse. They need to be sent back home. All of the costs associated need to be billed to their home government. In this particular case, with this kind of stuff happening, I'd say 50-50 with Mexico, because Mexico bears responsibility. So bill them, cut off all funding, and tell them to clean their acts up. If they do not want to clean their acts up, then they can deal with it. Maybe they can go to the UN for help. If they've got, problems with, maybe they can go to the International Red Cross. But it's not our job to take care of that. And if it is going to be our job to take care of that, then they are no longer sovereign nations. That's what it boils down to.
Well, that makes sense.
The thing is, I am libertarian, right? And so with libertarians, we talk a lot about, personal boundaries. The non-aggression principle has to do with you not entering my personal boundaries. Well, we have private property rights in this country. It's the same thing. You have the right to bar the door to your home. I am not allowed to come break into your house. It's illegal. The truth of the matter is the border around the United States is the border of the United States property. It is our property as a nation. Other citizens, other people from other countries do not have any more right to cross that border than somebody has the right to cross the border to your home. And if they do, that's called an invasion. If you want to knock on the door, you know what? I might let you in. If I come and knock on your door and politely, you'd probably welcome me into the house. You know what? We have those processes here in the United States. It's called immigration. And there are people that immigrate legally on a regular basis. That's knocking on the door and being welcomed in, as opposed to bashing the front door down as a criminal and invading. They're two very different things.
Now, I was a police officer for the Austin Police Department. Austin and Travis County is what's called a sanctuary county. And for those of you who don't know what that means is they have a they don't extradite. They don't deport. So if someone who's illegal gets in trouble with the law, which a few do, and they get arrested, they do not get turned over to ICE. They do not get deported. It's a sanctuary city. There's a 65% chance that if you get in a car accident, the person you get in a car accident with will not have a license, insurance, or any way of identifying them or even tracking them down if they leave the scene. And that's what a sanctuary city has gotten us into. A lot of these folks, since they're undocumented, the biggest frustration for me is they'd hand over these ID cards that were all worn and you could barely read them, and they're all in different, from San Salvador and Mexico, and the matricula card and all these other forms of ID. And we were told as police officers, well, that's not good enough. They need to have a Texas ID. Well, if they didn't have a Texas ID, you can't write them a ticket. You can't do anything with them. And they're just walking around, and they're paying no taxes, working cash jobs, and there's just so many. I mean, you're never going to catch and punish every single company that's hiring illegals. When I worked in Williamson County, we had a guy come in, and I guess his roofing crew or whatever crew he had got real drunk on a Friday night on payday and got in a big fight, so they brought about 6 or 7 in. He came, paid their bail the next day because he had to finish the job, and they went right down into the ice truck and left because it wasn't a sanctuary county. So he paid their bail so they could get on an ice truck and go home, go back to Mexico. It was 2 or 3 days before they got back across the border and back up. But, this whole thing with Mexico right now, we've got that young Marine sergeant who's in jail, not doing anything about that. One of our listeners just tweeted me and said, well, what about the helicopters, the Mexican Army helicopters that are flying into our airspace? What are we doing about that? I mean, it's just...
So I will tell you that, in my opinion, the Mexican Army helicopters, if they are coming across the border and if they are actually shooting at our citizens, I call that an invasion, and I would do whatever I could to make sure that we retaliate. And those helicopters were shot down.
Well, he didn't say they were shooting at anybody. They're just flying in our airspace. Because you know that the Border Patrol in Texas, I don't know what about Arizona, New Mexico, and California, but the Border Patrol in Texas is 40 miles behind the border at checkpoints. They're not even on the border proper.
They need to be on the border. They need to be protecting the border. And if we are being shot at, we need to be shooting back. I feel very strongly about that. We do not need to be putting the military or the National Guard or our police, firemen, etc., in positions where they're getting shot at and can do nothing to protect themselves.
Now, what do you think about the armed militia that are showing up down there? That, of course, the left are painting as they're just can't wait to shoot a kid, which isn't true. I don't believe any one of those guys down there wants to shoot a kid, but they're augmenting the troops down there, and so far, it's getting a tacit nod of approval by the governor, Rick Perry, and even the Border Patrol is like, yeah, come on down. And they're armed and they're on patrol.
Well, I'm not there, so I can't speak to it. The Border Patrol is there. Governor Perry is getting reports, right? I'm not getting reports from the Border Patrol. So I have not seen anything in the news that's saying it's not working. So based on all that, I'm going to say it sounds like it's fine. On the other hand, where is the federal government in this? This isn't just the Texas border. This is the United States border. There are very, very few things mentioned in the Constitution that that Congress is supposed to be taking care of. One of them is defending the borders of this country. Why do we have an army?
Well, he came down. President Obama came to Austin, had some, he had some good barbecue.
I saw that.
He didn't go anywhere near the border, but
I am very frustrated with the action that is being taken in D.C. that is unconstitutional, and there's a lot of it. I am also very frustrated with the inaction on constitutional issues that is happening in D.C. And this inaction is putting people in danger. We potentially have terrorists crossing the border. We potentially have gangs crossing the border. Now, have there been reports of both? Yes. Do I have any absolute proof? No. So that's why I'm saying potentially, right?
Well, that's like I said before, that's my gut. That's my military mind thinking. That's a gut feeling.
Right. Well,
that's
we've
a
got
gut
diseases
feeling.
Crossing the border. We've got people coming across with all kinds of things that we are not prepared to deal with as a country. This is a huge nightmare for just from that standpoint. Now let's add on our debt, and then taking a look at what all of this is going to cost on top of it, and whose problem are we supposedly solving? We're solving other countries' problems. Is it fair for me to walk into your house and steal things from your house so that I can deal with my problems?
So, I mean, what do you think? We've talked about what may be a motivation for these kids to have been crossed. I think it's money. I think the cartels are being paid by Al-Qaeda or a terrorist organization. I think it's a big smoke screen. But what can be done now? What is the right thing to do? I mean, these are kids. Kids are caught in the middle. They probably don't even know what's going on.
Let's be real clear. Some of them are kids. Some of them are not kids. Some of them are adults.
What would you say the ratio was?
So, I don't know, right? I don't have any facts and data. I have seen pictures of both. And when I'm saying kids, I'm not talking about a 17-year-old that they've shown video of that thought it was fun to torture people. I'm talking about kids who are 10 years old, right? Not gang members, not people that think it's funny to torture and murder people. And, if you're old enough to be doing that and think that's funny, I'm calling you an adult. So I've seen pictures of both. I think anybody that comes across needs to be handled humanely. They need to go through the process, as I said, getting photographs, getting fingerprinted, etc. They need to be sent back to their country, and their country needs to be built for it. And if Mexico was in any way involved, which for the majority of these things, I believe they were, you can split the person happens to be Guatemalan, split the bill between Guatemala and Mexico. Send them a bill for each person. You know what? I bet that stuff stops real quick. That's number one. Now, treat them humanely, right? I didn't say pack them up in a box and send them. Treat them humanely, but send them home. Number two, the border needs to be secured, and it needs to be secured properly. Number three, after that's done, we need to round up the illegals that are already in the country and do the exact same thing and ship them home and build their country. And if you want to come into this country, you come in legally.
All right, on that note, we got to take a quick break. I'm on the air with Rebecca Paddock, who's a Libertarian candidate for the United States Senate from the state of Texas. We're going to take a short break. We're going to listen to some commercials, and then we'll be right back. You're listening to On the Air. I'm Mike Allen, and this is the Armed Radio Global Network. Be right back.
Listen Thursdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, to Night Talk with Joe Rocks, co-hosted by Jackie and the Dog on Live 365 Armed Radio Global. You'll never know what will happen or who will drop in, only on Armed Radio Global.
There is nothing in this world that can make or break your day like a comfortable pair of shoes. And if you're a woman like me, then the perfect shoes are as seductive as the perfect full-bodied wine coupled with a smooth, dark Belgian chocolate. Or a steaming hot bubble bath at the end of a long day. Let's be real, ladies. The perfect pair of shoes can even be better than spine-tingling, bone-melting, body-shivering. Well, you know what I mean. So, where do you get your perfect pair of shoes? Savvy Souls, where chic meets comfort at the intersection of satisfaction, swank, and trendy. Go to www.forsavvysouls.com for 50 to 70% off on the latest spring styles, or find them on Facebook today.
Hi, now I know you hear Joe Rocks and the Dog on their weekly restaurant reviews on Night Talk, 10 p.m. Eastern. And boy, these two like to eat. Right, boys? Well, here's something to review right from your house. Eat24. That's right, Eat24.com. With over 25,000 restaurants for you to choose from when you're hungry. Many in your area. So review that, boys. Eat24.com. Click, order, and eat. Eat24.com.
Arriva da Firenze, Italia, Nesti Dante, il sapone realizzato a mano, ispirato al bel paesaggio fiorentino e agli incantevoli profumi delle colline toscane, splendidamente confezionato a mano in un'elegante carta fiorentina di ispirazione rinascimentale. Prodotto rispettando l'antica arte italiana della saponeria, grazie al metodo Coltron. Nesti Dante rimane una delle poche compagnie nel mondo che continua a tramandare il metodo tradizionale di saponificazione. Tecnica, creatività e ricerca si incontrano con la nobile antica arte italiana della saponeria. Sapone artigianale, di fama internazionale, sapone di lusso. Per maggiori informazioni visita il sito www.nestidante.com.
Savino Wine Preservation System is wine preservation glassware. Savino is an easy-to-use wine preservation system that allows you to enjoy your favorite wines anytime without waiting for an occasion. Open any bottle with confidence, knowing that you can enjoy the full original flavor of Tuesday's wine on Saturday. For more information, visit us at www.savinowine.com. Today's wine, tomorrow.
Visit the website tattoocreambrightener.blogspot.com. That's tattoocreambrightener.blogspot.com, or click the link in the show page. tattoocreambrightener.blogspot.com has what you need for your dull or faded tattoos. The secret for keeping your tattoo color vibrant and crisp is good skincare. If you exfoliate, nourish, and moisturize your skin, all your skin will look better. Exfoliating can brighten tattoos without using aftercare products. You can find all that you need to help your tattoo look its best at tattoocreambrightener.blogspot.com. If you paid for the pain of getting a cool tattoo, take care of it, and tattoocreambrightener.blogspot.com can help. Again, that website is tattoocreambrightener.blogspot.com. Go visit today.
Open your windows, turn up the radio. It's the Lino Show. I'm a city girl from Boston, living the life in the burbs. Join me on Monday night on Live 365 at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Armed Radio Global. Join us for a mixed bag of entertainment, comedy, fashion, and fun. It's off the chain.
All right, welcome back to the show. Just a reminder, tonight's show brought to you by StrikeHardGear.com. All your tactical gear for AK-47 style weaponry, shotguns, other rifles. It's pretty cool, actually. Check them out. StrikeHardGear.com. Also, Pampered Paw Gifts. You got a pet, you know you love it. Get it some cookies, treats, bows for his eye. I wouldn't do that to my dog, but I'd get some treats. Check them out at pamperedpawgifts.com. All right, returning to our guest, Miss Rebecca Paddock, on the Ring Central Celebrity Hotline. We've been talking about the influx of illegals, a portion of them children coming across our borders, just flooding across our borders. Now, this has just been something that's been happening in the last month or so. Of course, I said earlier, you know, Central America and Mexico have been a train wreck for decades. Why now? Why all of a sudden? What do you think was the motivation or the can that got kicked over that just started all this? What do you think's going on?
I think that there have been people crossing the border for a long time. It's been going, the numbers have been going up for a while. It's been a problem in Arizona, New Mexico. It's been a problem in California and Texas. You know, it's an ongoing problem. I think it's just gotten maybe worse. Maybe it's just now starting to get the media's attention. If I were going to speculate, that's all I would be doing, is to speculating as to the reason. I don't have enough facts and data. And as you know, I'm kind of a facts and data type girl. So I'd like to get some more information before I start to take a look at root cause, as to why the timing happened when it did. As far as the root cause of why they're here, the root cause of why they're here is lack of leadership. Lack of leadership in our executive office, lack of leadership by Congress, and lack of leadership in Mexico, and lack of leadership in the countries in South America that these kids are coming from. It's a huge leadership issue, and obviously I can't address the leadership issues in other countries. I can certainly have an influence, and you can have an influence on the leadership issues here, and that's what our priority needs to be.
So, it's been reported by the right-wing propaganda that all this was kicked off by an executive order from Obama hinting or opening the door for amnesty. Did you hear anything about that? I mean, I know you're in the process of campaigning to be the U.S. Senator. Have you got a thumb on your pulse of this, or is this something that sounds like it's a legitimate claim by Fox News?
I think anytime you mention the word amnesty, whether there's an executive order or not, I think anytime the word amnesty is mentioned, ears go up everywhere, as if you mention the word treat to a bunch of dogs, right? I mean, I know with my dogs, if I say the word treat, I have everybody's attention. You mention the word amnesty, and it's the same type thing. You get everybody's attention. Everybody's attention. And so I think even mentioning the word is going to get discussion started, and you don't know what happens from there, right? It's like a snowball rolling downhill. It gathers speed and it gathers mass. So is it related? Potentially. I don't know. I don't have the facts and data.
Now, of course, the big rumor out there that I've been reading, and I've been scrolling through here as you've been talking, is that the Republican side claims, or the right-wing side claims, that the Democrats are the ones that are heavily pushing for the rights of immigrants to actually vote in our voting process, not even have to be citizens. And, of course, there's always claims of voter fraud where illegals, since they get driver's licenses here, and there's too many to go through and vet every one of them out, are actually stuffing ballot boxes for local Democrat and national Democratic leaders. Do you think that holds water at all?
I mean, it is happening, right? We do know there are facts and data on that. There are facts and data that shows that people that are illegal have voted. There are facts and data that show that citizens have voted more than once. There are facts and data that we have had citizens fill out ballots using other people's names and stuffing the ballots that way. So there are facts and data that prove all of that. This is why it's so important that we have voter registration and voter cards, and that it's tracked. And you know what? The Democrats and other people have said, it's not just Democrats, but other people have said, well, not everybody can get a card. You know what? These people cash checks. They get on airplanes. There are a lot of things that you need to do to live your life in this country that require
an ID.
Government ID.
Yeah. Get a bank account. Get a job. Anywhere.
And if you are unable to get government ID, it's because you're probably not supposed to have government ID.
Now, one of the examples that's brought up that's and I mean, what we've just covered is exactly what I say. I mean, you're 86 years old, and you can't renew your ID card because you have to actually go somewhere and do it, and that's voter suppression.
So here's the deal. You know what? You can renew voter cards without going anywhere.
Yeah, you just do it online, or they do it by mail.
They do it by mail.
They make it so easy for you.
And these, someone that's 90 years old may not know how to use a computer, but you know what? They know how to mail things. They know how to do things on paper. They did things on paper before computers were everywhere.
And if they're 90, they got at least 30 great-grandkids that know how to do it for them.
Well, I mean, they may not have great-grandkids at all, right? They could be the last of their line. But if they know how to do things on paper, there is absolutely no reason that somebody can't show voter registration, proof of identity to vote.
Well, one of the big arguments is that women that they change their name because of a divorce, or they get married and change their name, and because they change their name, then they have to go back and get all their birth certificates and all this other stuff going on, and still, I don't understand why just by the fact that you change your last name through marriage, that all of a sudden now you're exempt from all other forms of ID when you go vote. I mean, to me, that would seem, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, you need a...
Do you know that if you get married and you don't change your driver's license within a specific amount of time,
30
you
days.
get a ticket for that?
Yeah, 30 days.
So explain to me why it is these women can manage to change their driver's license, but they are incompetent to change their voter registration. Exactly how does that work? I'm confused.
Every year or so, I get a voter registration update card in the mail, and I sit down with it, and I look at it, and it's pre-stamped. All you have to do is fill it out and throw it right back in the mailbox. It says if any of this information needs to be changed, change it and mail it back in. This is months before you have to vote.
Well, they don't send you a card once a year that says if you got married, change the name on your driver's license, do they?
No, but what I'm saying, they do it for the voter card.
Exactly. I mean, how much more easy can it get?
Well, this was kind of a short segment. We're going to come up at the top of the hour. Are you going to stick around?
Absolutely.
All right. We're talking to Rebecca. I'm tripping over my tongue. See? It's from these late nights. I'm not even drinking. What's up with that? Talking to Senatorial Candidate for the state of Texas, Rebecca Paddock, from the Libertarian Party, and we'll be continuing our conversation with her about the current state of our immigration policies and practices and the flood of immigrants, some kids, coming across our southern borders. Plus, your calls. Call me, 1-800. No, not 1-800. Thank you, Matt. 1-866-225-5401. 1-866-CALL-401. Be a part of the conversation. We'll have you live right here on the air. We'll be right back after these messages. I'm Mike Allen. This is the Armed Radio Global Network, and you are on the air.
Hand me down a walking cane, hand me down my hat.
Straight Talk with Matt Hazley. Every Monday and Friday, 9 p.m. Central Time. Only on Armed Radio Global.
We love your dogs and kitties. We love them, yes we do. So when you want to give a gift, a cake or treat or two, PamperedPawGifts.com is the place for you. Yes, PamperedPawGifts.com is the place for you.
Ooh, nice shooting. Hey, that's a sweet AK-47 chest rig. Is that multicam?
Yep, got it from StrikeHardGear.com.
Strike what?
StrikeHardGear.com.
Set your sights on StrikeHardGear.com. Tough, tactical gear for your Soviet-style weapon that's made in the USA. Affordable, plus a no-questions-asked 30-day money-back guarantee and lifetime replacement warranty. StrikeHardGear.com. Go ahead. Pull the trigger.
Glastic water bottle, a shatterproof glass water bottle. It's great for any liquid because everything tastes best in glass. A leak-proof lid you can close and toss on the couch without worry. Chances are it won't ever break, but if it does, no worries. The glass is safely contained inside a protective outer shell, so you won't have a dangerous mess to clean up. You can safely remove the broken glass and get replacements. Go to GlasticWaterBottle.com to get your very own Glastic bottle today. That's GlasticWaterBottle.com. GLASSTIC waterbottle.com. What are you waiting for? Are you looking to buy prescription eyeglasses? Family-owned and operated iFramePros.com is your online store for prescription eyeglasses. Select the eyewear of your choice from our variety of frames, fill out the prescription information, and place your order in no time. After this quick and easy process, you'll receive your prescription glasses in a few days. All major credit cards accepted. Visit us at iFramePros.com. That's EYEFramePros.com. See what you are missing.
Are you an entrepreneur looking to get your business off the ground? Or are you an established business in need of a plan to present to an investor? Keljo Solutions can provide you with the plan that presents you and your business to others in an organized, professional package. With affordable rates, we have the plan to fit your budget. Visit us on the web at www.keljo.net and watch your business grow.
Well, hi there. My name is Val, and I have a show called Talk Time with Val that is at 7 to 9 Central every Tuesday and Thursday night right here on Armed Radio Global. We like covering every topic under the sun, whether it's what's in the news today or what's on people's mind. What's on your mind? If you tell me yours, I'll tell you mine. Join me from 7 to 9 Central every Tuesday and Thursday night for Talk Time with Val, the hot spot for the hot topics.
All right, welcome back to the show. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by StrikeHardGear.com. Go visit them for all your tactical needs for the AK-47 rifle and other rifles and shotguns that you may have. They got a lot of neat stuff. Also, PamperedPawGifts.com. The little treats and gifts for your pampered pet. We all know we do it. My German Shepherd sleeps in my bed. Are you kidding me? Be a part of the conversation. Go to Twitter at tired_lions_fan or just tweet something and hashtag it Armed Radio. We'll read it live on the air. Or you can give us a call. 1-866-225-5401. 1-866-CALL-401. We'll get you live on the air. Coming back and talking to us on the Ring Central Celebrity Hotline. She is the senatorial candidate running against John Cornyn in the Libertarian Party, Rebecca Paddock. We've been talking about the influx of illegals that are coming across our border. I kind of had my thoughts on it. I think it's a smokescreen, personally. Either drugs, gang members, or Al-Qaeda is bringing over something big. And I'm guesstimating in the next 4 to 6 months, something big's going to happen. And then, you know what? I don't think it's going to be. I don't know if you heard the beginning part of the show, Rebecca, but I don't think it's going to be a big 9/11 World Trade Center like thing. I think they're going to go after small town America.
Yeah, I did hear the beginning of your show. I heard your monologue. Small town America is possible. It seems from a terrorist perspective, though, how much terror are they actually going to create in small town America?
Well, here's my thought process on this. The audacity of 9/11 is going to be hard to top. I mean, that, I think just the very thought that someone was capable of doing something like that really polarized the intelligence community into not doing anything. They didn't believe it could happen. Our arrogance compounded with their audacity. Now think about this for a minute. If I was a terrorist and I wanted to strike terror into the entire country,
Hassles with professional services from K&L Payroll Services. Now you can trust your payroll is in good hands. There is nothing better than personal attention from a trusted advisor who knows your business. Get more for your money with K&L Payroll Services. Call today at 888-979-6660 for honest savings on payroll services. That's K&L Payroll Services.
Hi, I want to tell you about the new Zunity Eclipse. iStream is a smart media aggregator that stores your media tastes to better focus your searches. Add to favorites or subscribe to your show of choice and never miss an episode again. Create your own little digital online library without downloading a thing. It supplies content by scanning and collating your channels directly from the World Wide Web. Supporting many formats and exceptionally versatile, whether playing the latest Android games and emulators, streaming 1080p HD movies or video playback from your own media collection, the Eclipse is a powerful, stylish addition to any household. Miracast and AirPlay, which enable you to share media content such as music, videos, photos between your smartphone, tablet, or laptop and your TV, will also run on this little Zunit. Zunity, TV made simple. Play games, share photos, chat with friends, user social media, stream, enjoy live television from around the globe. To order, contact us at Zunity.tv or call 718-414-3128 and check us out on Facebook. Zunity Talk for more information. TV made simple.
All right, sorry about that. We had a storm roll through, and I think I got a lightning strike. So welcome back for all of you who stuck around. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by StrikeHardGear.com. And let's turn that down, my little monitor. And PamperedPawGifts.com. Thank you very much for their support. We are back. Had a little lightning strike, which knocked out my power temporarily. So we had to get back on. Welcome back to the show. On the Ring Central Celebrity Hotline, Senatorial Candidate for the Republic of Texas, Miss Rebecca Paddock. Welcome back.
Thank you.
That's what happens with a power outage. You know, here in the Texas studios of Armed Radio Global, we don't have, our boss, Joe Savino, who's got his show on Thursday nights, Night Talk with Joe, and Jackie and the dog. I don't know if you ever listened to his show. His show's great, but he's got the backup generators and the 10 screens, and he's got like a Houston Launch Central. Down here in Texas, I got a guy here on a bicycle.
It works.
Hey, gets it done. I guess he got a little tired. I had to go throw some water at him, a couple of 5-hour energy drinks, and he's back up and running. Actually, we've got some storms rolling through here, I guess, and we got a lightning strike. So,
which is awesome this time of year in Texas.
Oh, I know they're huge. They're huge lightning storms down here.
Send some of my way in Dallas.
Well, it's kind of rolling up to our north. But that's where all our power stuff comes from, is up north. So just a little flicker, but it was enough to knock me off the air here. But we're back. We're back, and I can't even remember what I was saying, what I was talking about. To tell you the truth.
That's okay.
That's okay. Well,
that's okay.
Oh, I know what I was talking about. I was talking about the smokescreen. You know, one of the biggest weapons that our enemies have against us is our own, I want to say, reliability. That's not our own reliance on information that's fed to us. Of course, the big sources of propaganda are the main news features: MSNBC, CBS, ABC, NBC, CNN, and Fox News. You watch a news story on Fox. Now you switch it over to CNN. It's the same story, but it's a different result based on the perception of that newscast. And that's one of the biggest weapons that our enemy has against us is our ability just to, without question, gather or gain loyalty to one side or the other, and then just take all the propaganda that's fed to us, and it divides us. It actually divides us. And in this situation, whoever's backing it, wherever the money's coming from, right now, the propaganda is pushing the kids. Now, you said that you've got data that they're not all kids. See, the impression that everybody's getting from MSNBC is that all these immigrants that are coming across are all kids. All of them.
Well, so, yeah, that's not surprising, right? Because kids pull at your heartstrings. If they were saying the people coming across were terrorists and gang members, do you think they would get the same response?
Well, that's
what
been
response
happening
are they
for
trying
years.
to elicit?
Yeah. Well, that's been happening for years, the gang members and the drugs.
So here's the deal. As far as getting good news, there's no news that you can get that you can trust to be all facts and data anymore. You just can't. So you have to get the facts and data yourself. You have to take a look at the spin that they've put on the story, start asking questions about what do you think they want out of it, what emotion are they trying to elicit. Based on the emotion they're trying to elicit, what facts do you think they tweaked, and where do I go get the data? The very best thing that we can do is go to the source. And it's not like that's an impossibility these days. When there was stuff happening in Egypt, I reached out to my network and said, listen, I really want to know what's happening in Egypt. Does anybody have a friend in Egypt that they can hook me up with that I can chat with online and find out what's going on? And as it turns out, a friend of mine did have a friend in Egypt, and it was one of the last things that he did before he died was hook me up with his friend. And so it's that friendship with her in Egypt just means all the more to me, right? Because I lost Frank. But I could find out what was really happening.
Oh, with the Arab Spring,
of her world that was Egypt,
yeah,
right?
with the Arab Spring,
right? And
yeah.
so we have to do this kind of stuff. We've got to look other places.
Well, the mainstream news has lost me years ago. I mean, this isn't anything new for me. When I was a police officer, I would write reports on arrests that I've made, and of course, the news. The local news stations would go through the reports, and they'd try to find something juicy for their morning shows and whatnot. And at the end of the day, they'd find something that happened, and they'd make a story out of it. Well, it happened to a couple of my arrests, actually, and it was amazing how the next day when I was reading about in the news or hearing on the TV about this incident that happened that I was the lead officer on, I wrote the report, I gathered all the facts, how far away from the truth how manipulated it was. It wasn't a lie, it was just the presentation led you to believe something different. The perception was different than the facts that happened. That I was there. That I actually put together for my report. So I lost.
They do it. They do it on purpose.
Well, of course they do. They got to sell advertising. That's what it's come down to. Is they're just selling advertising. But now, I really do think that our government has in place, and this isn't too far stretch of imagination. I mean, I'm not going all Alex Jones or anything, but I believe that our government has in place certain entities that cipher through information to direct our propaganda outlets, our news outlets, into telling one side one thing and the other side the other for the specific purpose of dividing us, just so they can gain more power.
I have no facts and data. So,
this is just my opinion
on that. I'm going to remain silent.
This is my opinion. Now, of course,
That's
fair. I'm not
That's
running
fair.
for any office. I understand your position, and obviously, the position.
And my campaign manager is going to be very happy that I responded that way.
Well, and I understand too that when you're in a situation like you're in, because we want you to win, we want some change in our government. I think everybody up there should be kicked out. Personally,
I agree with
you. And Rebecca, if I ever find out that you're taking contributions from some corporation and that they're dictating what's going on, I'll drive up to Washington myself. I think me and about half your friends list on Facebook.
So I'll tell you what. It's interesting that you bring that up. So let me tell you something that I've done. That is, to be quite honest, I did it for me. I did it for my own sanity. Because I noticed what happened to people when they got involved in politics. And I got involved in politics not because I ever wanted to be a politician. I got involved because I was mad. And John Cornyn's not doing the right thing. He's made some bad decisions, and he's hurting this state and this country, and I want him gone. That's why I got involved. So I went to a group of my friends, and I set up, I call them a board of conscience for me. It's like a board of directors, but it's a board of conscience. And these people all know me very well. They know what I stand for. They know what's important to me. And every single one of them has the authority to call a command performance, which means if they call me and they say, I want to see you at such and such a time, I make that happen. The other thing that they've got the authority to do is to whack me down and put me down in my place. And that's their job on the board of conscience. Their job is to watch what I'm doing, watch what I'm saying, and if I start to get the least bit out of line, they are to slap me back in place before I can get off the road. If they start to see the car detouring to the right or to the left and I'm not following the path, their job is to whap me and say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I set that up for me. And
well, it's kind of like in some churches they have, it's called an accountability group.
There you go.
I
have a group, and none of these people are shy about using the authority. I will tell you, none of them have used the authority to put me back on track. Several of them have said, "Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. I want to catch up. You need to make time for lunch, or you need to make time for dinner, or you need to da-da-da-da." I'm like, okay, you know what? You're right. We haven't chatted in a couple of weeks. We need to do that. You're absolutely right. And I do it because that's the arrangement we have. So I can guarantee you that should I get off the path, you are more than welcome to come to D.C. or wherever I am. Just know that you'll probably have a line to wait in.
Well, that's good to hear, because we don't have, very many politicians these days that, you and I have talked about this before the last time you're on the show when you were talking about your campaign. I'm tired of politicians that tell me what they think I want to hear for popularity. There's not one. All the great leaders in my life. My father, one of my first sergeants in the Army, First Sergeant Stewart, Sergeant Major Hendrickson, when I went to war. Just sergeants and chiefs that I've had. All the great leaders that I looked up to, that I modeled myself after. You know what? One thing they had in common.
They gave you the unvarnished truth.
They never told me what I wanted to hear. They always told me what I needed to hear. And politicians, I don't know if it's the power. I've watched. I live next door to a chief of staff for one of our representatives, and him and I have talked in the front yard many, many times. And one of the things I've asked him is like, what is it? I mean, once all these people have these great plans, and then they get to Washington, and it's almost like they're just trying to save their jobs. I mean, I don't think, for one thing, I think the representatives and congressmen make way too much money. It shouldn't be a career. It should be something that you do in service to your country for 6, 8, 12 years, and then you leave. Then you turn it over to somebody else, and you go back to being a lawyer or doctor or plumber or something else. And they're making. They shouldn't. I don't think the representatives of our country should make more than the minimum, more than the middle class person makes. Because they always. I mean, once you get there, you're gonna pretty much get everything for free anyway. I mean, free housing. I mean, they got houses that they have that are government houses that are there when they stay in Washington. You got transportation. You got all this stuff as a part of a senator or representative that you have at your disposal that you don't have to spend any of your own money. But I know that the Texas Senate and representatives, they don't get paid squat. They get paid very little.
So I can tell you that there are a couple problems, and from my perspective, one is that I think there need to be term limits, absolutely. The other is that specifically for the Senate, one of the big problems that we have is that the 17th Amendment was put in place, and that needs to be repealed. Senators need to be held accountable to the state that they're from, to the state legislature. The House of Representatives needs to be held accountable to the actual people of the state. That was set up for a purpose, and we need to return to that.
Well, absolutely. You lose touch with your constituents.
And we've talked about the other amendment that I'd like to have repealed, which is the 16th, and that's the ability to tax income. If the federal government would stay in its box, it wouldn't need an income tax. There's enough money that comes in through sources provided for in the Constitution that if the federal government was doing the federal government's job, and only the federal government's job, they wouldn't need additional money. So the 16th also needs to be repealed.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with that. Or if we do have an income tax, flat tax, 10%.
So,
do you know the history of the income tax, by the way? I don't know if we've talked about this before. Do you know the history of it?
No.
I tell you what, I got some, I'm a historian.
And, I know.
And I like history, and I like finding out things, and I have the information on where that came from. But we got to take a break before going to our last segment. So stick around. We'll be right back. We got to pay some bills. Talking to Miss Rebecca Paddock. She is the senatorial candidate for the state of Texas, running against John Cornyn here in November. She's on the Libertarian ticket. And she'll be right back with us. Tonight's broadcast, just a reminder, we did have a short break because I got a lightning strike and lost my power, but we're back. Tonight's show is being brought to you in part by StrikeHardGear.com for all your tactical needs for the AK-47 and other firearms. Looks like they have some stuff in there for shotgun pouches and stuff like that, tactical shotgun pouches. Also, pamperedpawgifts.com. Treat your best buddy to a treat today. Be right back. I'm Mike Allen. This is the Armed Radio Global Network, and you are on the air.
You and me, we're going out to catch the main sound. Guaranteed to blow your mind so high you won't come down. Get your big self prepared.
Listen Thursdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, to Night Talk with Joe Rocks, co-hosted by Jackie and the Dog on Live 365 Armed Radio Global. You'll never know what will happen or who will drop in, only on Armed Radio Global.
Straight Talk with Matt Hazley. Every Monday and Friday, 9 p.m. Central Time. Only on Armed Radio Global.
Plan your visit to Savino Vineyards in Woodbridge, Connecticut today. It's a family-owned and operated vineyard that grows premium grapes on 8 acres of land and produces a fine selection of wine on-site in a historic barn. Savino Vineyards is a bronze medal winner in the Amenti del Vino International Wine Competition, and wine tastings are only $7. Visit SavinoVineyards.com to find out more, and follow Savino Vineyards on Facebook. That's SAVINO Vineyards. Or call 203-389-2050 for more information. Glastic water bottle, a shatterproof glass water bottle. It's great for any liquid because everything tastes best in glass. A leak-proof lid you can close and toss on the couch without worry. Chances are it won't ever break, but if it does, no worries. The glass is safely contained inside a protective outer shell, so you won't have a dangerous mess to clean up. You can safely remove the broken glass and get replacements. Go to GlasticWaterBottle.com to get your very own Glastic bottle today. That's GlasticWaterBottle.com. GLASSTIC waterbottle.com. What are you waiting for?
Open your windows, turn up the radio. It's the Lino Show. I'm a city girl from Boston, living the life in the burbs. Join me on Monday night on Live 365 at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Armed Radio Global. Join us for a mixed bag of entertainment, comedy, fashion, and fun. It's off the chain.
Hi, this is John.
Jay and Mikey.
Join us on the Hot Five at 10, Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. Mikey, Jay, what are we going to talk about?
Love, fun facts, jokes.
We're going to talk about all this stuff. We're going to talk all over each other. So join us then, 10 p.m. Eastern, only on Tuesday nights, only on the Armed
Radio Global.
See you then.
All right, welcome back to the show. I'm Mike Allen. This is the Armed Radio Global Network. You are on the air. You've got 20 minutes to call in if you're listening right now and you'd like to weigh in on this subject. And join us, myself and Miss Rebecca Paddock, the Senatorial Candidate for the state of Texas on the Libertarian ticket. Call us, 1-866-225-5401. 1-866-CALL 401 will put you straight on the air. So try it out. Welcome back. Last segment. I know we were talking about what did we end up talking about? I got like 10 things going on here. When the power goes out, I have to reboot everything back up and recover everything and do all this other stuff. So I apologize if I'm out of sorts a little bit. Joining us on the Ring Central Celebrity Hotline, Rebecca Paddock. You back with us? I guess if I pay attention and move my little slider up here, I'm sure you're answering me.
Yes, I am.
Fine music, but no one could hear you. Hey, sometimes you fly the plane around the mountain. Sometimes you fly it into it. That's how we roll.
It's all good.
It's all good. Hey, this has been a night full of challenges. When life gives you challenges, you just overcome them.
There you go.
That's it. Just get up, dust yourself off, get back in the game. It's life. Have an interesting story when it's all over.
Absolutely.
Jeez, oh Pete. Well, we were going to try to get on the presidential candidate, a candidate for the president of the United States. Right now, he goes by the name of James Gerard, and he was changing his name to Santiago de Santa Ana Rosa. And he's quite a character. I had him on the show a couple of shows ago. And he's got some interesting ideas, and I would love to get him on, but we just don't have enough time to do it justice, because but the next time you're on, with your permission, we'll get him on too, and I think you'd have a very interesting conversation with Mr. Gerard. He's from California, the San Francisco area, I think. But he's very passionate, as we all are, when we get to the point where we put ourselves in a position of the public eye. And he's got some interesting takes on some things. It's pretty cool, actually. Pretty cool,
I'd love to chat with him.
Yeah,
sounds good. Sign me up.
So we'll try to get him on next time. I was trying to get him on today to talk about this, because he lives in Southern California. I want to say San Francisco, which is like Central California. But I know the last time he was on the show, we talked a little bit about, I ran him through the ringer just like I ran you through the ringer. I talked about everything. Gay marriage, abortion, immigration, firearms. So I just go right down the list. When Kathy came on, I went down the list. And when Jamie comes on, I'm going to run him through the ringer, too. Because that's my job, Rebecca.
That's an important part part of your job.
And that's everybody. If I had a Democrat, I'd ask him the same questions if I had a Republican, if I have a Libertarian, if I have a Green Party candidate, it doesn't matter. I'm going to ask you the same questions. I'm going to ask you questions I think everybody wants to ask. And they're just straightforward questions. And then, you let the chips fall where they may.
There you go.
So let's say it's next year. You've been elected. You've unseated John Cornyn. I am now the director of your media. So I've moved to Washington. I'll probably have to shave my beard.
Nope.
No? I get to keep it?
No.
Oh, man, I'm totally pimping those old-timey ties, too. Like the 1800s. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have you gotten into the putting the flowers in your beard thing?
No, that real men don't put flowers in their... Real men don't put anything like that in their beard. You know what real men put in their beard?
What?
Snot.
I'm almost afraid to ask.
Snot and food for later. That's what we put in our beards. That's pretty much it,
You can keep your beard, hon.
No, that's some... what do they call the hippies nowadays? What's it? God dang it. Hipsters.
The hipsters? Mm-hmm.
That's a hipster thing. There's a hipster with a beard and there's a man with a beard. If you've got skinny jeans and a funky hat and your girlfriend doesn't look like she shaves her armpits, then you're a hipster. And your beard, that doesn't really mean anything. But if you walk around with jeans and work boots, you got a plaid shirt on, you carry a chainsaw, you're a man. Like Patrick. Patrick's got an awesome beard. Have you seen his beard lately? I've been checking him out.
Yeah, I've actually seen Patrick recently. I saw him a few weeks ago.
Him and I need to get together and go shooting. Hopefully he's listening tonight.
Let me tell you, Patrick is a sweetie pie.
Well, he's been posting dog porn. I guess they're trying to get this German Shepherd pregnant.
Yeah.
He's documenting it on Facebook.
Patrick is a sweetie pie.
I am rolling. Because I have a German Shepherd. I got her fixed, though. There's no puppies here. No puppies here.
I'm hoping I can bat my eyes at him and his wife and get one of those.
You get one of the puppies. Oh man, German Shepherd.
Oh, I'll
puppies.
tell you what, his big dog, the male. I am like in love with that dog. I just adore him. And every time I go up there, I ask the female, I'm like, Maxie, can I take Dante home with me? And she gives me this look, like, nope.
Yeah, German Shepherds are the best. I got mine as a foster, and it's just, she's been the most fantastic dog. She's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Okay, so you were going to ask me a question. So I was elected, and you're my director of media.
Yeah. All right. See, I got off on the beard thing.
I know.
Okay, you're elected. You're the senator. You're up on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to introduce to the floor? What is your idea? You have the floor. Madam Senator from the state of Texas, you have the floor. Immigration, we need to fix it. It's out of control. We got stuff coming across the border. You have the floor.
So, right now, my platform, I have 4 things on my platform. Immigration is not one of the things on my platform right now. I may actually add a 5th thing over this because I do feel strongly about it. The very first piece of legislation that I am planning on putting forward is repealing all legislation that is an infringement on the Second Amendment. The next piece of legislation that I am looking forward to put forward as well is to consolidate the intelligence agencies into one agency and put proper oversight in place. The Fourth Amendment says, no search without a legal warrant. So this NSA spying is unconstitutional. It needs to stop. The third piece of legislation that I'm going to put forward is to look into what is happening with our vets. We have 22 of vets a day committing suicide. That's a tragedy and it needs to stop. So those are the first 3 pieces of legislation that I've got on my plate. If this border control issue is not fixed by the time I get in, I'm thinking that's going to probably be the 4th piece of legislation that I put forward.
Okay,
because our border needs to be closed.
Well, let's say that you're a senator right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're standing on the floor. The discussion today is about what's happening on our southern border right now. What is your solution for it right now? What's happening right now?
So what's happened is, we need to close the border. We need to stop any more people from coming across.
And
that's number 1.
And what resources are we going to use? Because the Border Patrol doesn't have enough people to do that.
No, we need to use the National Guard, for one thing. If we don't have enough people with the National Guard, with any militias that are available, then, we reinforce with the Army. I mean, the people coming across are illegal. They're coming in groups. We don't know whether or not they're, gangs or whatever. We've had reports of helicopters coming across and shooting at people that, you add all that together, that sounds like a reasonable use of the Army. So I would put them on there. I would control the border. I would put fence up, the appropriate type of fencing, make that happen. I would leave armed people in place, securing it, and then take the people that are here, process them appropriately, send them home, build their home countries for anything that happened while they were in the country. So whatever, humanitarian efforts we've put in place, the processing them, getting them home, all that, bill for all that needs to be sent to their home country.
Now, the National Guard and we have Texas Guard here, actually, is their home state militia. It's under the direction of the governor, and it's technically not under arms. It's mostly used for relief for natural disasters and stuff like that. But they're organized like the United States Army. You carry over all awards and patches and combat patches from the U.S. Army, but it's called the Texas Guard. Now, the Texas Guard, if they were armed and moved down there, you've got the National Guard and Reserves, and you've got militia. The only people with arrest authority is the Border Patrol and the police. All those now, would you introduce some sort of legislation to either temporarily deputize all those folks, or would they just be held in reserve in case an armed conflict came up, and then they would go in and engage once shots are starting to fly?
Well, the Texas Guard is under the leadership of the governor. So even if I could wave a magic wand and get the exact bill that I wanted to get through both houses of Congress and through the president, even if I could do that, I don't have the authority to deputize the Texas Guard.
So who would have that authority?
That would be something I would need to work with the governors of each state on that.
So the governors would have the ability to deputize their own home guard and give them arrest powers? Okay.
Yes.
Under the direction of state police, border patrol, and then local police. Now, there's one more thing I wanted to ask. I don't have it in front of me. I've been looking for it, but there has been an article floating around talking about the La Raza militia having come across the border and taken over a town in Texas and has ejected all the people, made all the citizens of that town leave. Have you heard anything about that? I know Kathy Glass actually reposted it on her page. Have you heard anything about that?
I have not seen that. I'll have to go look that up.
Well, I did some investigation. The source she got it from, and I can't find it, but I'm sure one of our listeners out there can tweet it to me or send it to me on message. Her source is a right-wing, kind of like a National Enquirer.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my thought on that. First of all, very sarcastically, I say everything you see on the internet is 100% true.
Yep.
With dripping sarcasm. That is not true. Couple of reasons why that's not true. One, there's not a town in rural Texas that is so liberal that every single one of the people in that town don't have a firearm. That's one. Two, the police officers in small towns are highly motivated. And three, the county sheriff of the county that town has deputies. So I really don't think, and I Googled it and did everything else, and actually it's been partially debunked, that no, La Raza has not taken over a town in the United States, and Obama's not ignoring them. I don't think that's possible, to be quite honest with you.
I have not seen it. As a result, I haven't looked into it. I think that ignoring the sergeant that's in jail in Mexico is actually happening. And if we're going to start talking about the administration ignoring things, let's talk about that. Let's talk about ignoring the illegal aliens that are coming across the border in droves, potentially bringing, criminals, terrorists, and disease with them. Let's talk about whether or not these kids are being traumatized by the people that are bringing them over? How many of them are actually making it? How many of them are being sold into slavery or the sex trade? I mean, these are big issues that we know are on the table. So, I mean, if somebody can give me some facts and data about a Texas town that's been taken over, I'm on it.
Well, I just say I debunk that.
Okay.
That didn't happen.
I've got
times
things to worry about that I know did happen.
Exactly. I just wanted to cover that. I was going to cover that today in the show anyway, because I know Kathy. I know we're all in the same, the Libertarian ticket. Even though you're all running for different positions, like any other party, it's got to be in the same sheet of music, and that didn't happen. One of the first laws that I put on any story that I read, whether I would agree with the story or not, is the law of common sense. Would that make sense? And if it doesn't make any sense, then I start digging. I start trying to find out why somebody thought it made sense and why it doesn't make sense. But that's the litmus test. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Rebecca. It's always glad to have you on here. Of course, we'll be monitoring the whole election process, and we'll have you back on again when it gets closer to that time. Of course, I've reached out for John Cornyn, and who's the Democrat?
So there's David. There's Democrats David and Alamiel.
Yeah, I've reached out to. I couldn't remember his name off the top of my head, but I've reached out to them because I got to get equal time. They have not responded. So, I'll just keep having you on.
Well, I like it. I like chatting with you. So it works for me.
Well, good stuff, and I will start sending messages to Patrick, and we'll start politicking to get you a puppy.
Sounds good.
You need a German Shepherd puppy. If you ever make it the president, what's up with these Scottish Yorkies and all this? But bull crap. Get a pit bull, German Shepherd. I mean, come on.
Tell you what. So I have had a pit bull, and that dog was that dog was a lap dog. It was like I had a Saint Bernard, and she was also a Saint Bernard, a lap dog. I mean, these dogs literally. They're that loving that all they want to do is crawl in your lap and just be petted. They are so sweet.
Well, my German Shepherd's best friend is a pit bull healer, blue healer mix, and she's having a sleepover tonight. And when I get into bed, she can't not touch you. She can't. The German Shepherd, she likes my hand, like around her head and scratching her head. But she doesn't like to be crowded. But the pit, man, she'll crawl up and roll on her back on top of you and get all these crazy contortions. And she cannot, if I move, she'll move so she's touching me. Mm-hmm. And that's the pit bull. That's the mean one.
So pit bulls, well, you can make any dog mean.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, you can.
I've had a pit bull, I've had Saint Bernards, I've had Chihuahuas, and I've had mutts. And I have to tell you that every single dog that I've owned wanted nothing more than, to be, you go to bed, even the Saint Bernard wanted to be in bed next to me, all of their body touching as much as they possibly could have.
Yep.
Every single dog I've owned has been a snuggler. It's true.
Well, good stuff. Well, thank you again for coming on. We'll have you on again soon.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day, and I hope that you are lucky enough to not get any more lightning strikes on your show.
Well, I'm going to bed. It can do whatever it wants to now. I'll be asleep.
Have a good evening, and thanks for having me on the show, Mike.
You too, Rebecca. Talk to you soon.
Absolutely.
All right. That was Miss Rebecca Paddock. She is the Libertarian Candidate for State Senator running against the incumbent John Cornyn. That's it for me. Man, I'm out of here. We had a little lightning strike, ran a little over. Great conversation. The thing about it is, folks, you got to get involved. Get involved. Get knowledgeable about what's going on. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Dig, and ask questions. And it's okay to have an argument, but if you go into an argument, don't go in with no bullets in your gun. You better know what you're talking about. Till next time, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I am just one of many shows, and I haven't gone through the lineup yet today, but let's go ahead and do that real quick. Monday mornings at 6 a.m. I come on to start the week with Monday Morning Brew, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Then, Monday night, it's a Lino show, and she starts at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. After that is Straight Talk with Matt Hazley. He's at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. Tuesday nights, Valenistama, Talk Time with Val, the hot spot for the hot topics. She comes on at 8 o'clock Eastern. Immediately following her show is a High Five at 10. That starts at 10 Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. Wednesday night, starting next week, Tattoo Rick and Tara are back on the air, and they'll be actually filling the space right before my show. So they're going to be coming on at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, and then I come on at 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern on the air next week. We're going to try to get Mr. Gerard back on the show, and also James Wire is going to come on and talk about what's going on with his webpage. So lots of fun stuff coming up. Of course, as it gets closer to the election time, we'll have some more candidates on here to talk about that. Plus, football is 49 days away. Coming up, we'll have John Montez, maybe even Cowboy Nate come back in here and have our preseason picks for this year, and it'll all be in good fun. Thursday night, Val's back on. Some more talk time right before the Star Maker, Joe Savino. He comes on at 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern, and he rolls all the way to midnight. And that's Joe, Jackie, and the dog, and another Joe is coming on. So he's got some more co-hosts coming on. That's always a fun show. And, of course, Friday nights, Matt closes it on out, sends us on our way. Some more straight talk. For all of us here at Armed Radio Global, especially tonight's key sponsors or sponsors, highlighted sponsors, PamperedPawGifts.com and StrikeHardGear.com. I'm Mike Allen. This is the Armed Radio Global Network, and you have been on the air. See you next week.